Is it recording now?
Make sure it's recording.
Yes. So this is where I say what a jerk you are, right?
You can say whatever you want now it's recording.
Okay. Okay, so this is going to be a description of what Buy Here Pay Here is all about. Now, Buy Here Pay Here stands for exactly that. Buy here meaning you buy it at the dealership. Pay here meaning you pay the dealer the payments that you have originated with him. Okay, so you go ahead and log into the system. And it's going to open up first with a note saying what your recurring payments status is. So it'll give a list of all the recurring payments that have been happening to you when you go ahead and open up the account. This is for the swerve pay and so on and so forth. All right, and any payments that come in and are accepted, I'm guessing are automatically gone and put into the account as well. All right. After that, you come to your open screen, so you can select the account to work with. It's typical of all your other open accounts. You can go ahead and find the account by various criteria based on your search. Last name, first name, stock number, days late, etc. Okay? And then you can select whether the accounts are open or closed. And you can select and create sub-statuses for the accounts depending on what they are, and be able to go ahead and pull up those. Same thing for your closed. You can select whether the account has been paid off, repossessed, voided, etc. Okay. Your accounts for the payment period, you'll be able to select accounts based on whether they are weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, etc. and accounts created in the last X number of months or all. Okay, as well as how they are being paid off. Okay, the payoff method is when you get into a contract, you're charged the amount of the car plus an interest fee. How that interest fee and the principal amount on the car is split is your payoff method. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up an account. All right, when you first open an account, it's going to come up with the notes that you have on the account by default. Again, there are some settings that we'll get into that will allow you to go ahead and adjust things like this. So if you need to make a note, you can go ahead and specify a date and time. Okay, and then at the end, enter your note info. Okay, then go ahead and click on OK, or if you don't want to make any changes, then cancel. All right, so you'll be able to go into the notes and see the notes that you have going on at any time. All right, so once we close that screen, we're looking at now the main screen. The main screen shows your account number, your customer information, the actual car that you're working with, the terms that you have, the payment dates that are important, payoff information, what kind of account it is, a summary that shows how much has been charged, how much has been paid, what's remaining, and then the totals of that, as well as any deferred down payments or pickup payments that you might have associated with it. Okay, the system will allow you to create accounts that are just pickup payment only, in case you have loans that you finance through a third-party lender, but you've arranged they weren't able to pay the entire down payment, so you've arranged to go ahead and collect those later on. You can transfer those over to your Buy Here Pay Here system and show as just a deferred pickup account. Okay, now to take a payment, click on the payment button. Specify the date of the payment. I'm going to go back to the main screen to see when the last payment was done. Previous payment was 8/27/16, so I'm going to go ahead and do another one after that. Payments. So 09/27/2016. Okay, now over here, it's going to show you what is past due. It'll show you the past due amount, the regular payment, and any adjustments or late fees that you have. So if a customer comes in and says he's going to pay you $350, you have to decide how much of these items get paid. So you can apply the entire $350 to the loan, or you can go ahead and break that up and specify how much goes to each of these segments. Okay? So that the total paid amounts to what the customer's brought in to pay. Now, you see like the payoff method. Okay, if you're dealing with credit cards and stuff, you'll be able to go ahead and process credit cards, or specify a check, enter in a check number. All right, give it a description or a note if you want to. Then go ahead and click on OK to take the payment. Clicking on OK brings up the receipt criteria. You can specify the number of receipts that you want. You can select to either print the receipt or not to print the receipt, and then whether to stay in the current account or move to the open screen to select a different account. Okay, so print the receipt, number of copies again, specify what items will or won't show up on the receipt. Okay, the system allows you to go ahead and do promotions. You can click on promotions and pick pictures to go ahead and show on the receipt saying what kind of your promotions are. Okay, and then you can go ahead and print the receipt, or I'm going to preview it so you can have a look at the receipt, and your receipts are going to look like this, with the dealership number, the receipt information and customer information, what happened on the loan, how much was paid and how it was split up, and then balances that are remaining. Okay? Once that's done, you'll be able to notice that we now have information in the pay to date showing how everything was split out. Okay? Now, the system does allow you to go ahead and create new accounts, and to do this, you would go ahead and click on New. Save the account that you were working on, yes. And now you have the new account screen. I'm going to show you the quickest and dirtiest way to go ahead and get new accounts into the system. All right. Step one is to go ahead and give it an account number. Click on the buyer's name, type in a last name, and then a first name, and then click OK down at the bottom left. The rest of the information we'll be able to go ahead and enter in later on. Okay. Even if there's a co-buyer, don't bother entering in any co-buyer information. Enter in the vehicle information, and all you have to do is give the stock number. All right, and then go ahead and click on OK. Now, from your contract, enter in the amounts of the loan. The amount financed, the interest rate, the days to pay, which is going to be based on how you're going to be doing it. Let's make this one weekly. 1 year. Let's go ahead and make that about the beginning of the year. Weekly, we said. A simple interest account. Okay. The different payoff methods, again, like I said earlier, have to do with how the interest and principal is split. The simple interest is the basic amount and standardized pretty much for the way people do it. Rule of 78 was an older way of doing it, and paid more interest at the beginning, which was beneficial to the dealership, and so they decided to move to a simple interest account. The system also handles no interest and then a scheduled interest. Scheduled interest is kind of like a lease wherein each payment is divided up between an actual amount for the principal and an actual amount that goes to interest, and it doesn't vary between the payments. Okay? The system will calculate the first payment date based on the days to pay and so forth. All you need to do is click on Calculate Payment and then verify that this number is the same number that shows up on your actual contract. If it doesn't, go ahead and change these numbers here, and then the system will go ahead and work around it. Okay? You can also go ahead and enter in deferred payments, specify the number of days to the payment. It'll calculate the date automatically, and then the amount of the payment, and add it to the list. Okay. Again, deferred down payments are parts of the down payment that the customer can't pay up front. We'll click close on that, and now all you have to do is click save and close. It's going to ask you to verify that the information is correct. Do so. Otherwise, click on cancel and make any changes, and then go ahead and click on yes to save it. Okay. The account's going to open up with all of the information in place for what we'd entered. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and go back and open up the account we were working on previously, because this account was done the same way. And I'm going to show you first off how to go ahead and enter in the rest of the information. So you go up to the menu and you click on the View menu item, and then you can go to the buyer's information. This is the same screen that we saw in the new accounts. All you have to do is go ahead and fill out the rest of the information on the screen, and then click on OK. Other options that you have on this screen are to be able to search the OFAC terrorist website name list, as well as go ahead and enter notes particular to the buyer themselves. Going back to the View menu, now you'll see we'll be able to go ahead and enter in the co-buyer's information that we did not enter beforehand if there is a co-buyer. Lease details we'll get into in another session. Insurance is the buyer's car insurance information. You're going to go ahead and, because as a buy here, pay here dealer, you own the car until they pay it off. You do want to make sure that your buyer has car insurance. So the particular thing down here is going to be the expiration date. You want to make sure that you put in an expiration date, because the system will prompt you with a note saying that the car insurance has expired if it has in fact expired. And then when they give you new information, all you have to do is come back here, update it, and then click on OK. The next thing is related finance. This is information that would be transferred over from the dealer click system based on your lender, you being the lender, and having any discounts or fees like that that you've put in for yourself on your recap. Next would be loan source. This is targeted to finance companies, and the system allows can be used by a buy here, pay here only company, or a finance company that gets their paperwork from either other dealerships or other loan sources, and they can specify who those loan sources are for the particular account that's on screen. Next would be additional, and here's where they're going to be able to go ahead and select the loan source that they have put in, and the state that it's in, and how the late fees are charged in that particular situation. So depending on what state they're in or what contract they're under, they'll be able to go ahead and charge the correct late fees. Again, this is targeted more towards a finance company. By default, you should go ahead and go through your setup functions first to get this set so that this is defaulted to the particular dealership and everything works correctly. Next is the vehicle. Again, we put in just the stock number. We can go ahead and type in the VIN and decode it. We're familiar from that from the dealer click side. It'll go ahead and fill out the information. There's additional information that can come in from the dealer click side as well. And the system supports being able to put in GPS devices into the cars and being able to track them by specifying whether it's installed and the codes and so forth for the particular company. Okay, then you'll be able to go to the website and it will open up this particular car and track it. And then of course you'll be able to go ahead and enter in account notes as well. Okay, so that's how you would complete the information for a deal that you put in just to get the information in. So now you can go ahead and complete it, enter in any payment history and so forth for it as well. Okay, now I want to show you back on the payment screen that when you go ahead and take a payment, let's see when my next date would be due. 8/27/16 on this one, so we'll go ahead 8/2016 and we'll go ahead and specify an amount, $350, and I'm just going to have that apply towards the loan payment on this. Okay, now at this particular point in time, he's giving me cash, but I do note that he's late because he's got a large past due amount, so I can actually go ahead and click on add late fee, and I can go ahead and add a late fee as well at this particular time. But I'm not going to do that. I just wanted to show you that you could. Okay. Again, also if it's not the regular person that's come in and is making the payment, but someone else, you will be able to go ahead and click on the search OFAC name list and search that person's name to find out whether they're on the terrorist name list or not and whether you should take a payment from them. Okay, so again, we can go ahead and click OK to take the payment. I'm going to say do not print receipt and stay in current account. It just updates the numbers. Okay, now we can go to our payments and look at the history. So we'll see all the payments that we've taken. Okay, and then the principal, interest, so on and so forth that's been applied. Okay, we can click on any of these payments, click on receipt, and we can do a preview or a reprint of the receipt. Okay, it'll say that it's a reprint and show the information. Now the only caveat at this point is that it's going to show the current numbers. It's not going to show the amounts that were shown on the original receipt. We're only showing the current numbers as of the particular date. Okay? And we do that simply because the system doesn't have a good way of tracking those other numbers. Okay. Now we will be able to go ahead and void this, void and adjust payments. Now, in a case where this one is the one that needs to be voided, or marked bad or whatever, what we have to do in that case is we have to start at the bottom and void that one, and then come along and then void the next one. Okay, and the reason for that is it has to do with correctly calculating the interest and so forth. All right, so the best way to do that is to come back to our reports and go to the first one, the account payment history. Open that up, select the account, and view that. And what this does is it shows the entire payment history, okay, whether it be a regular payment or a pickup payment, okay, and the cash and reference number information so that you can go ahead and re-enter them correctly on the correct dates and so forth. Okay, so you print that out, close that, go back to your payment history, void the particular payments or mark them bad, and then go ahead and re-enter them correctly. And that's how you keep your accounts current. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work our way across the buttons and then across the menu items to fill you in on what the system's all about. Okay. New, again, takes you to our being able to go ahead and enter in brand new accounts. Okay. And this also has the ability to change it to a leasing type situation. That will be covered later. Okay. Open takes you to the open account screen, which we've already discussed. Okay. Save goes ahead and saves the current account. Reports takes you to the reports. I think what I'm going to do on the reports is go ahead and do a separate video to discuss all of the reports and the individual quirks and so forth with those. Customer takes you to the customer screen. You can update information there again. Okay. You can also go to the co-buyer screen. Okay. Payments takes you to the payment screen, which we've already been, as well as to the history, which we've already been to. Clicking on tools will typically bring up your calculator or take you to the collections module. Okay, I'm going to cover that here in just a moment. QuickBooks allows you to go ahead and export to QuickBooks, and you'll be able to go ahead and go into your setup functions, select your company file, create the journal entries to specify which information is in the buy here, pay here, go to which accounts in your QuickBooks, go ahead and get connected, and then it'll give you the options to select the date range and what information to transfer. Okay, I want to go back to the buy here, pay here. Minimize that, okay. The collections module allows you to do things a little bit easier than it would be by working through the buy here, pay here. In the buy here, pay here, to handle collections, you'd have to go ahead and run a late report, open up the individual accounts, make notes on them as you call the customers, etc. This allows you to kind of go ahead and do it one by one yourself. Okay. So what it does is it opens up a screen that has all of the accounts that have a past due amount. You'll be able to go down the list, select an account, edit that account, and you'll be able to see the buyer's information, the account information, and payment history and so forth, the vehicle, co-buyer information as well. All right. You'll be able to go ahead and do letters by selecting one from the actual list or creating new ones, if they're set up. Okay, the same thing with the texting and the emailing. Okay, you'll be able to go ahead and do that as well. All right, then you can schedule a callback time, close that particular account, and move on to the next one. So it just kind of keeps things all in the right place. Your GPS will actually go ahead and take you to Globestar. You'll be able to go ahead and log in. I think for the particular account that's on screen, it will go ahead and open up that account. Okay, texting, emailing, we've seen that before in the dealer click. Okay, same thing with attaching paperwork. When you print out a receipt, you can go ahead and scan it back in and attach it so that you'll have a copy of the originals. The same thing for any repossession, collection fees, etc., etc. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and move up to the menu items. Under the accounts, again, we have the new, the open, the close, the save. Under the print menu, we can go to the reports, we can go to the ledgers, we can print out an amortization schedule. An amortization schedule is simply a list of the regularly scheduled payments and the breakdown of those payments. Okay, the payment book is a way of printing out when the payments are due, so that the customer can go ahead and say, okay, this is the next payment and it's due on this date. I'll go ahead and use this and send in a payment with this. Okay, the screen allows you to do a print screen. Okay, you'll be able to void accounts. You'll be able to delete accounts. The caveat with deleting accounts is it's not going to let you delete an account that has any payment information. You'll have to go through not only the deferred payments, but your payment history and void all the payments so that the numbers here show as 0 before you can actually delete an account. Okay, going back to the view menu, we've discussed that. The adjust menu allows you to make adjustments on the account. Okay, so again, we've discussed being able to add late fees. Also, you'll be able to go ahead and add debits and credits. What those are any additional work work or fees that get attached to the car, whether they be work done on the car like brake jobs, transmission jobs, whatever, or fees needed to be done for collecting making collections on the car, repossessing the car, towing the car, etc. You'll specify the description, who did the work, the date that it's due. Now, this is not the date that it happens, okay? This is the date that you want the money to be due. And that's because the system needs to know exactly when to add it to the past due amount if it has not yet been paid. Okay, paperwork numbers and then the actual amount. Okay, whether it's a debit or a credit. Okay, and then go ahead and save it to the list. If you make a mistake, click on it in the list and go ahead and delete it, and then go ahead and re-enter it or whatever. Okay. You'll be able to postpone payments. Sometimes when a customer can't make their payment and you want to work with them, you'll be able to go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to postpone that payment to the end of the loan so that you won't get charged any additional interest, you won't be shown as late, etc. So you click on the button, it says, okay, do you really want to do this? You click on yes. It's going to make a list of the payments that you can move to the end of the loan. All right. And then it's going to allow you to enter in a fee if you want to charge a fee for doing so, and then go ahead and click on OK, and it moves that payment to the end of the loan. It's going to adjust your total number of payments and your payment dates so that they're correct. Okay? And then as you work with the accounts, you'll be able to change the status. So you can change the status of the account to being paid off, going to collections, repossession, write-off, etc. Okay, paid off means that the entire loan has been paid off. Collections means that he's late and you want someone else to try and collect the money. Repossession means that it's so bad that you've gone out and taken the car back. Write-off is so bad that not only have you gone to collections, repossessed the car, but now you know for sure that you're not going to get any money whatsoever from this guy, and then you go ahead and write it off. Sometimes the guys will say, I'm sorry, I can no longer handle the payments, and they'll just bring the car back. Two different types of bankruptcy. You can specify that I've lost track of the customer, and then, or that, hey, I located the customer, and now we can go ahead and start taking payments again. These are all standard in the industry. Okay? So that was all of the adjust. Moving over to the payments, receiving payment and payment history like we discussed with the buttons. Tracking payments allows you to go ahead and track which payments and when they were made. Okay? So you go ahead and select them and click on OK. Pick up payments takes you to the pick up payment screen. so that you can make payments for the deferred down payments. Okay, you can do that by clicking here, which will take you to the screen, or you can actually move your mouse over into the screen here, click here, and it will go ahead and take you to the payment screen as well. You'll be able to go ahead and see what the pickup payments were and payments that have been made. You can go ahead and click on receive payment. Okay, specify the date for the payment. And the amount, how it's paid. Click on OK. It's going to ask if you want to print a receipt. Say yes. Did it print correctly? Go ahead and view it. Go ahead and print it out. Did it print correctly? Yes. Okay, so that updates the information. You'll be able to go ahead and manage whether they need to be voided or marked bad by selecting a particular payment and going so. You can also go ahead and select one of the payments and reprint the receipt. And you'll keep running totals here as well. Okay. Print payment book was the same thing from the accounts menu. It'll go ahead and print out a list of the payments and little coupons that you can go ahead and mail in with your payments. Okay. There's actually two ways of doing this. You can go ahead and order a pre-printed forms from DealerClick, which will fit in your dot matrix printer. And there's a charge for each box of those. I think there's like 3,000 coupons per box. Or you can go ahead and pay a one-time fee to have a payment book printing inserted into your program itself as a report, and then you'll be able to go ahead and do it there anytime you want. Okay. We also have new functions for setting up and running recurring payments. That was that first screen that shows up when you start the program, the results of that. Okay. The reports, again, goes to the reports menu, which I'm going to get into in another video. And then also you'll be able to go to letters, which is the same thing as notices. Okay. Go to the letters. You'll have a list of letters that you can go ahead and print. Some of them are old style, some of them are new that you can go ahead and edit. You can go ahead and edit these if it was set up to do so. I may show you that in another one when I do reports once I get this up and running. Okay. Tools allows you to go to different parts of the program and different things that you can do. Okay. Your setup functions, defaults, allows you to set up basic systems, including how your late charges are taken care of, your grace periods, various and sundry other things. Okay? Also, setting up your users. A username will come up from, usually from the last name that you put in. Okay. Your last name, your first name, what the security level is, a password, and you can go ahead and then add it to the list. Okay? Or, like I did, double click on the name, make changes, and then update them. Okay? Again, if a user leaves the company, double click the name in the list and hide them. Okay? Set up security. Again, like in DealerClick, you can set up different security levels and allow them to do different functions. The higher the security number, the more access they have. The lower the security number, the less they can do. Okay? Substatus allows you to create different substatuses for open accounts as well as closed accounts. And this is managed by clicking the account status and changing the substatus here once you have them defined. Okay, and then you can use that in the open screen to be able to go ahead and select the different kinds of accounts. Register is the old style. If you absolutely need to, on like desktop versions, use the Gen 6 to go ahead and register the software. Accounting lets you go to the QuickBooks export, which we've already discussed. Help. Display help does absolutely nothing. Training Wizard is not installed. Electronic manual is not installed. Contact is a contact screen with phone numbers. Registration shows what your company information is. And About shows you where the program is located. Okay, Collections is going to take you to the Collections module. P&S to the Parts and Service. Close closes the account that's on screen, leaving you blank. And then you can go ahead and click on Open to go ahead and move to another account. Okay, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and stop, and then that's how the Buy Here, Pay Here system works and how all the functionality of the system works. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a good rest of the day.
Whenever we can use your welcome, we'll be more than happy to talk about it. If you tell us what you want us to do, we'll be more than happy to do it.
Shit, that all worked.